I was your witness right there during the inauguration. I was there at every phase and stage of the great moment. I sent a couple of videos out to you at my little tuxedo on. I'm on man on the street covering these events, trying to go to the balls and galas and things. But then talking to the MAGA army was so powerful because I can't believe that they had this goofy cathedral event. I mean, Trump brings the leaders of the world and Vance and his wife. You know, it's so important that they hear the gospel. Jensen Franklin's right there. Paula White. We got preachers ready to go. And they have some nut job, woman, bishop, LGBTQ advocate. Oh, my gosh. And I want to talk about we better deal with this problem we have with Christians in our community not getting represented properly at the highest level with Trump's inner team. We ran into this problem, Chelsea and me, when we had our own courage tour. We had J.D. Vance speaking with us. They didn't have people that have a clue what a Christian was in charge of the interface. It's only half the base that puts Trump in office. Anyway, I got to maintain balance. So I came back from South Korea. Listen to me. I got a point I'm making. I came back from South Korea. We're going to be in the middle of the battle there because we're going to fight. The MAGA movement is a global movement for sovereign nations. I call them sheep nations, where the people of God arise and protect themselves from the Antichrist forces of anarchy that are taking down the world. There may be inevitable Antichrist. Our job is to make it hard for him to show up when he shows up. But Chelsea then gives me a drink before I left. And she puts powders from the ancient nutrition stuff. She's mixing the greens with this thing and that thing. And she puts it all together in one drink, and I drank it. I was energized. I did a whole show. You know what? I took it with me to Korea. Chelsea, I took it with me to Washington to the inauguration. I took the ancient nutrition with me, and you know what it did for me? It gave me energy, and I actually lost 5 pounds. Annabelle had to get suspenders because when I put my iPhone into my tuxedo pants, they fell down right there in the lobby. I said, get me some suspenders. What is it about this product what's the concoction you put together? Because I want to get it to all my friends on the show.
I'm obsessed. This stuff has changed my life. I have been on a health journey the last year. I would say we got into MAHA before it was really a big thing, Make America Healthy Again. So these are some of our best-selling products. I think this is a great beginner bundle. It has the bone broth protein, the collagen, and probiotics. This is a great place to start. So for the shake I made Lance, it had the bone broth protein and the collagen in it. They both taste great. With this bundle at lancewallnau.com/reset, that's where it is. That's where you can get what I'm talking about. You can pick your flavor. We have vanilla, chocolate, and I believe another one. So Lance, yours, I did vanilla collagen, vanilla bone broth protein, and coconut water. And that's what gave you energy.
Oh, no, you snuck a few other things in there. You had a green one in there because I saw green in it.
I did. That's also available. But I really just want to talk about these 3 products right now. Right. I take these every single morning. I have taken these every single morning since last April, and it's currently January. They have changed my life. They've helped me lose weight, get energy. They've helped me feel alive again. This is the healthiest I've ever felt in my life. And I'm telling you, I take all the stuff we talk about on the show, and these products are incredible. And Lance, like Lance just said, he just took it a couple days in a row and he felt totally like a new person. It really gives your body the ability to help regenerate itself in a way, help do what it needs to do, because we're missing things like bone broth protein and collagen in our diets. We've taken these things out. And I have a very sensitive stomach. I can't do like protein shakes. I can't do complicated things. I'm allergic to everything. But these I can take, these I can handle. These are incredible. I tell all my friends to get them. You're my friends. I'm telling you guys, like.
Well, you know, the thing is, like, all my friends are fasting and praying and fasting and praying. I'm a terrible faster. I found that out as I got older because I want to eat all the time. I found out human beings eat. And so, but when I take these products, I take one in the morning, one in the afternoon. I actually don't have to. I'm telling you, it may be ancient nutrition. Make sure you get the lancewallnau.com/reset bundle right now. 25% off, lancewallnau.com/reset. lancewallnau.com/reset. The future is looking bright. Trump is back in town. Get your ancient nutrition. Do like me. I took my powdered shakes up there in Washington, and I ate one meal a day. I felt like a prince. Let's get this show started. Boy, the Trump train just rolled into town. I was there for it, people, with all the gold and glitter and glory that took place. It was a marvelous sight to behold. The man was in rare form. And in true Trumpian fashion, hit the ground running, has already dominated the news cycles. I got so much, and every day, the news media is just kind of like, really, they're on their knees thinking, well, they didn't even believe in God on the left, but whatever they think, because Trump's creating news again. Miserable trying to cover bumbling Biden and not ask the right questions, like, is he cognitively impaired? But right now, I'll tell you what really bothers me. I got to say that it's with mixed feelings I come into the audience to the studio today. We do not have a studio audience. Maybe that's my problem. I need you, the people, to support me in the moving of our studio to where we can have you in the audience on a daily. How many of you, put your hand up, would like to come down to the studio, just hang out for a day? I mean, come on. I've got the piano over here. I hardly ever use, but we do songs. We have a great time. I got producer Chelsea Hicks sitting over here in the Mercedes Sparks chair.
She does still work here.
Running a business lately. She's been wearing multiple hats. Chelsea, how are you?
I'm doing great. I saw in the comments last week on the show, people were wondering where she was. So thank you for clarifying. She's just busy. I'm just filling in right now while she's busy, but she does still work here. She will be back, rest assured.
Of course. As a matter of fact, she was just in Washington, D.C., of course, around the various, we went with Charlie Kirk's ball. Charlie Kirk had a gala. It's called the gala. What's the difference between a gala and a ball?
I believe it's the same thing. You still have to put on a painfully uncomfortable dress and shoes and pretend to eat a fancy dinner.
Right. A gala doesn't guarantee dinner. I think that's what that is. But it will be dancing or something like that. Anyway, it's a big shindig.
Did you have fun? Did you have fun, though, at the inauguration?
I did have fun. Although I have to say, I was a little bit distressed. I'm not a self-promoting guy. You know that. I'm actually more of an introvert when I'm not in front of a microphone. And I had Andrea Lafferty did a great Christian gala, and we were there. Thousands of people were there. And I get there, and I realized she had called me before I left, and I hadn't returned the call. And I thought it had to do with how many tables I was getting, because I got 1 or 2 tables there. You're helping to fund the thing and support it. She was calling to see if I wanted to speak. And then I'm sitting there, and I realize I'm not speaking. And Gene Bailey was the master of ceremonies, and I wasn't even up. You can imagine my chagrin when I realized that Gene's on the platform at an event that I was helping to sponsor in my own modest way. And then I realized my wife came to me later. She said, well, she called and wanted to talk to you about speaking, but you never got back to her. So now I'm on the warpath about making sure. Now, I don't have to speak. But unless I got something to say. And I got something to say. Now I do. If I don't have something to say, I don't say it. But when I do, and we have got to get ready for the midterms. Christians, this is your moment of history. They don't know it. Trump didn't come to the Christian inaugural ball because he knows somehow that the MAGA base, 30 or 40% of it is great Christians, and God is in the platform. He thinks it's larger than that. He thinks it's 50 or 60% of his base is all Christians. He doesn't get all the divisions in the church world. But we got to get it together because somebody needed to let him know. He could have just gone over there or sent a video message. Somebody's got to get it together. I don't know who it is, but somebody's got a job. I'll tell you why I'm hot under the collar. Not because I didn't speak there, because I enjoyed the speakers. I loved them. Dutch spoke, and Mario Bramnick did a great job. And Bishop Garlington, Gene Bailey, I always rib him, but he was a lot of fun to see up there. But I realized, I need to step in. Some of you need to step in to what God has for you and not be a passive spectator. Don't be like, well, if the Lord wants me to do something, he knows I'm here. No, step into it. So I got back to my room. I thought, Lord, that was great, but I think I need to remind what I wanted to say wasn't said, which is just because we got here with Trump, El Presidente, and the train arrived, doesn't mean we've won. All that we did was we landed on Normandy. Now we got to go. We've still got to get to Berlin in 48 months and totally occupy. In the meantime, there's Paris. That's the midterms. And that's what I wanted to talk to you all about. We got about 200 days before the left does their coordinated counterattack, and the one thing they do is they goose step. They're always picking on us for Nazi salutes, but they're the actual National Socialists. They're the goose-stepping army because there's not any break in our ranks. When one moves, they all move. They're like organized crime. So you bet they're going to be organized in knocking the knees off of Trump on his agenda, and they're going to do it in the midterms. Historically, it's done all the time. The president in office lives as how we're in a thin, razor-thin margin right now. Senate and Republican. And you know the problem with conservatives is they're not like the goose-stepping left. They actually have their own. We got our Freedom Caucus that doesn't want to vote, even supporting what Trump wants, because it's not realistically severe enough. We're going down globally into a global, I don't know if it's a global depression, $300 trillion margin call is what Steve Bannon calls it. All the nations are awash in debt. It's like musical chairs, but the music's still playing. But when that music stops, it's going to be serious. You know why? $1 trillion every 100 days is being spent by the nudniks we've elected. Because none of them want the responsibility of cutting a single service that could possibly cut into their prestige, power, prosperity, or permanence in Washington. Anyway, Trump's willing to do it. I was so proud of Donald Trump. I don't know if I could have done what he did. Barack Obama's sitting there. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Harris, Biden. This was like, ooh, that inauguration for them was like a root canal. You could see they hated it. As well, I imagine I would have if I was in their shoes, because Trump did not release them. When he went up to that microphone, the courage of him is that with them right there, he talked about the destruction they brought to America and how we've got to fix it. He did not give an aspirational message. There wasn't any Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We're going to put a man on the moon. Oh, he got Mars in there. He had a few things in there. He gave the tactical battle plan for how he's going to dismantle Leviathan. And that's the reason why I'm hot under the collar right now with only 4 minutes in my opening segment, because they go to a service, and you pointed out something. Who's sitting next to him at the National Cathedral? Probably for the first church service these guys have been to since they got married. And who's sitting to his left and his right there, Chelsea?
At the cathedral? Well, I know near him, he brought Zuckerberg and Bezos with him, which is pretty crazy. He's keeping them really close to him. It kind of reminds me of how, this is like a nerdy history lesson, but King Louis XIV, one thing he did was he brought all the nobility to the Palace of Versailles so he could keep an eye on them. And I kind of think that's what Trump is doing. I think he's trying to keep these people close to him so he can keep an eye on them.
Well, here's my point. I also think that he recognizes that America's potential, the guy, he's so interesting because he doesn't sound like he's thinking complex, because he communicates in very simple Queen's language. Basically what they're doing is bad and evil and very bad and very destructive and very disgusting. He just uses words like that to describe complex issues. But what he's thinking is extraordinary, because what he's doing is he's bringing Elon Musk, the Google systems, Bezos, Zuckerberg. He's saying, you guys represent the tech oligarchs who can give America the edge over China and Russia and every other country. If we could link you together in the AI space, we could dominate the information. The same way that I saw Elon send that rocket up, and then I watched it coming down. I said, oh, no, it's coming down too fast. It's going to crash. It's going to crash. And then I saw those beautiful, they call them like chopsticks, whatever. They come out and hug that rocket, and it just settled right down. I said to Elon, and we all know the story because he repeats it all the time. Can China do that? No, sir. Can Russia do that? No, sir. Can the United States government do that? No, sir. Only I could do it. That's why Elon has a seat at his table. Trump loves winners. And so he's bringing these guys around him because, to your point, it's like Don Corleone said, keep your enemies close. Or keep your friends close, your enemies closer. So Trump's keeping his enemies closer, but he wants to tap in to the full, unfettered, pent-up capacity of capitalism through the innovative entrepreneurial expertise of these individuals. And he wants America to have an advantage. By the way, DeSantis, much to his credit, I don't know why he's not liked. I think our MAGA base better get it straight on Ron. He's the best administrator and governor for the MAGA movement in the United States. Get off your resentment of him because he ran against Trump. And he's got to have a future in our party. So what is he? He's the first American governor to officially refer to the Gulf as the Gulf of America. He's now calling it the Gulf of America because we have as much coastline as Mexico. And why should we be giving them $70 billion a year for maritime issues and maintenance of coast, et cetera, which we're putting into Mexico because it's the Gulf of Mexico. It's not the Gulf of Mexico. It's now the Gulf of America. Trump is in his state of Florida. What is it saying? The official notice? My team is so smart.
State of
Executive
Florida.
order? What does it say?
Office of the Governor Executive Order. So this was issued by DeSantis, and it says, whereas an area of low pressure moving across the Gulf of America, interacting with Arctic air, blah, blah, blah. It gets boring. But yeah, that's an executive order.
I got 30 seconds to make this point. The Gulf of America is there, but there's a gulf we got to fix in the Christian world because MAGA is the moment when Christianity can show up and Trump is wide open, but he doesn't understand all the divisions. We got to get it together. I'm looking at the NRB. We got a National Religious Broadcaster Conference coming up in Dallas. I'm supposed to go there and meet with a whole bunch of investors because I work with people that invest in films. And I said, like after my experience in Washington, I said, how come I'm not even doing a breakout? I mean, these people, a lot of these people I don't even know. I'm not speaking. No, Lance, you're not even on the invitation list. And I said, that's got to stop. Our tribe better get to know who each other is and how we help each other. It's NRB. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to whack it on the head in a minute. We'll be right back.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through. My employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by extending our wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows only $14.98. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including my standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.98, Kings only $1 more. Not only that, order $75 or more, ship absolutely free. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code Lance to save big on all of Mike's best products. That's promo code Lance.
All right, so here's my beef with the National Religious Broadcasters. Great organization, and I could not figure out for the life of me. Like they'll have like maybe Jack Hibbs speak there. Jack Hibbs is one of our great MAGA guys, but he's fundamentalist, evangelical. And then Jeffers, Baptist, fundamentalist. And I realize the organization is run by Baptists and evangelicals. Who dominates? Who is Trump drawn to? Why does Paula White and Jensen Franklin get his attention? Newsflash, it's the Pentecostals, folks. I know we're an embarrassment to you guys. It's the charismatic. Same thing with Matt Schlapp and Mercedes Schlapp. I know you guys want to have the sophisticated Catholic and evangelical face over there. You're never going to have the MAGA juice till you have let's say the rowdy part of the family show up, because this is where it's like the energy that Elon Musk brings. He's coming in, and when he comes in, we're bringing him into Red Rover, we're calling him over. Full tilt Pentecostal, that's where you got to go. You got to get filled with the Holy Ghost, believe in the supernatural. If you're going to make it today, if you're going to ride that train, you're going to have some extra juice in the tank. But no, the NRB. I look at the whole list of speakers. I mean, we have a couple of really kind of sedate charismatics there, and a couple of my buddies are there. Big business guys. They have different organizations. They're kind of like, hidden in there in a way. But I'm talking about I'm not ashamed of the power of God, and I'm not ashamed of the gospel, and I wasn't ashamed of Trump back in 2015. And you're not going to leave the MAGA base and the charismatics and the intercessors and the warriors out there. I mean, we had our banquet out there, and I loved having that. If I had spoken there, the thing I would have said is, midterms, get ready, we're going to show up. And the second thing I would have said is, we're outside the camp. Understand that the people that are the muscle behind this movement are the intercessors, the prophetic warriors, the precinct workers, the people that went out and did the voting work, the door knocking, the grundoons, the workers, Charlie Kirk's army, our army. It was the Courage Tour people. All right, so listen. I'm just having a moment here. I'm just telling you, the NRB better open up. TBN. Daystar, even though I know it's controversial right now, the only reason it's so widely controversial is it's so big, it's such an impact. God TV. I'm talking to Rob Siggs of Real America's Voice, people. He's in my camp. Bam. It's got Charlie on there, Real America's Voice, Steve Bannon, and the War Room Posse. Brought to you by Closet Charismatics. We're hiding out. We're being polite. But we're part of the army. The reason I'm saying it is, who's the knucklehead that let Trump walk in with J.D. Vance, people that need to hear the gospel, go to a prayer service at the National Cathedral and have Bozo the Clown leading it? Some chick there who's a George Floyd follower, LGBTQ fanatic, everything but the pink hair Karen, and she's up there lecturing Trump. Who is the advanced team that doesn't have a dang charismatic evangelical with a brain talking to them? What are you saying? You got your hand up on the periphery.
Well, we have the video. Why don't we play the video in case our audience hasn't
for those
seen
of you
it?
that usually are listening to the podcast, I'm a little worked up today.
No way.
Because it's stacking. It's stacking. It's stacking, and it's just building up. All right, let's go ahead and play this. You want to play the National Prayer Service clip?
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
We're scared.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
I can only handle so much of this. I can only handle so much of this. You understand why I'm upset right now? I'm looking at the NRB. Doesn't have guys like me. MAGA people, MAGA Christians, people who paid a price to be out front, are not invited to the party. There's a victory party going on. But you guys, we're outside the camp. We're out there somewhere having our own private little gathering. But you guys are the backbone that made it happen. Even you're donating, and trust me, your prayers is what moved Donald Trump's skull so it wasn't fragmented by an assassin's bullet the first time, and the second time it allowed a word of knowledge to get on a random security check because the guy that was trying to shoot him didn't know you keep the barrel 6 inches back from the fence line. He stuck it through the fence. Otherwise, it would have been a clean shot of Trump a week or two later. I'm telling you, it's the intercession of people like you that are the real hero. You're the heroes that are making history. And I'm jealous that we're not hidden, because when we're not involved, dummies like this end up in a pulpit.
My favorite thing was J.D. Vance's face throughout the whole video of you watching it, because he just looks like Jim from The Office still. He
did have that Jim from The Office look, like that deadpan.
It's just so funny.
Like there he is, like then the eye roll as he's looking at his wife and going, wow, this is interesting.
Everybody was commenting afterwards who was there saying how unbelievably uncomfortable it was.
I'm mad for our team's sake because that was Jesus presented to them. They unbelieve Trump. Here's the funny about Trump. Trump knows good preaching. Like I said, he hears it. He hears Metaxas. He hears Charlie. He hears Jensen Franklin. He hears Paula White. Then he listens to that and he knows it could be better. What I love about him is he has enough of a palate, like a wine connoisseur, to go, they could do better. And it's like, all right, so listen to her again. I want you to hear her again. This is the woke bishop who lectured Trump. This is why I say she's the pro-George Floyd BLM activist. Go catch this little torturous 45 seconds.
Why did you want to come out here and send
Their message, it is a message of a call for justice, for swift justice for George Floyd, for systemic justice for all brown and black people who have been under the knee of this country in ways that we have witnessed time and again. This is wrong. And this rising up, this spontaneous uprising of people, mostly half my age or younger, they're the ones we should be listening to.
And they're angry at the president.
They're so angry.
They're angry at the president. So what is your message to President Trump today?
Anger.
Well,
we need George Floyd level anger with the LGBTQ activist community trying to get to the young people. Idiots. Well, we have the Donald Trump response. For those of you in the podcast, we're going to read to you. He was asked how it was. He said, well, what did you think? I think it could have been better. All right, put on image 7. Let me read it to the people. Or Chelsea, you could read it if you can see it.
Yeah, I got it right here. So Trump tweeted this out at midnight. The so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left, hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal immigrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was a very boring and uninspiring one. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology.
She and her church, Episcopalian. Now you see why they're hemorrhaging people left and right. Well, they should have Somehow they should have said, we're going to have a prayer service. We'd like to use the National Cathedral. By the way, we don't want your bishop there presiding. We're going to have a service there. And if you don't want to do it there, we have to find an alternative cathedral. And then you let Jensen get up. You let Paula get up. You let the people that sweat and invested in this moment in history get up, not the people that fought it. All right, and back to the NRB. I'm not picking a fight with the NRB. Lord knows we love religious broadcasting. I'm an advocate for it. What I'm saying is, I don't see the red meat MAGA base represented at all at NRB. I don't see the people that made this historic moment there. I see it squeaky clean, play it safe evangelicals. And that's not the moment. That's, by the way, why it's not a great sizzle media event. You don't have the edge in it. The edge comes when you bring in some, at least they had Dennis Prager there last year. That was fun. I talked to Dennis. I introduced Dennis or something at one session. I used to have a booth there. So I had a booth, but dropped like, how much was it? $15,000, $20,000? It's not inexpensive. We had a $20,000 investment there in a booth.
Oh, no, we spent, there's the booth itself, and then there's building the booth, and then there's going. I mean, we had a great time. I enjoyed being there.
It's a great time, but I'm not going back this year because it's too much money to drop for, doing what I'm doing now. I can do this for my studio and have a cup of coffee. The difference I'm saying is we didn't have a good integrated input into Trump, and he walked into the cathedral. The advance team should have fixed that. So the chief of staff better start talking to Paula White. There's the shout out. Whoever that lady is Trump's new chief of staff. Talk to us. We know when when the president's going to step in a pile of poop that we set up for him. Secondly, NRB. Expand your front and get some MAGA people in there, get some charismatics in there. We have huge followings. I'm going to be meeting there with like 20 CEOs that are all in media. We're going to be looking at investments in big movie projects. I'm big on the Arts Mountain. It's like YMCA. I got to get my own dance moves for 7 mountains. We got the Mountain of Arts and Media. We're going to raise the money for. We got big projects we're going to be doing. Now that Hollywood, Trump is working with, who are the 3? Quick quiz. Who are the 3 actors he's working with? Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone. And who's the third in Hollywood? Who knows who the third? John Voight. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. Trump's got his eyes in Hollywood. And I'm telling you, the Pentecostals are on the march. The charismatics are coming out of the closets. And it's going to be a fun time in the OK Corral. We'll be right back. Actually, we're going to have to end the show here. Please remember to like and subscribe. You got to like and subscribe, and you got to leave a rating here in the podcast. Give me a couple of points there. Guaranteed the left goes there. The people that hate me will go and write, he stinks, he needs to shut up, because they just know I'm having an impact on the atmosphere out there. So I need you to go out there and give the old 5-star push and a good rating if you're on a podcast. If not, like and subscribe on YouTube and various other platforms. You're part of the family. We'll look forward to seeing you again later. God bless. We're entering a period of time that has increased hostility against people of faith. It's a time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral, physical, psychological, and even a financial basis. I'm here to remind you that God is the one who has blessed you thus far, and He will take care of you in the future. You have a divine responsibility, however, to see trouble and prepare yourself. For example, with record inflation eating away at the value of the U.S. dollar, the savings in your retirement account is in danger of slipping away. I recommend diversifying your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Now that includes no penalties, there's no taxes when you transfer current retirement funds into Birch Gold. To see how it works, I want you to go to lancewallnau.com/Birch and get your free info kit, and you'll be glad that you did.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have,